Okay, here we have a selection of ground vehicles, all small grid. Some of them mine, some of them by other creators that I have been evaluating, trying to, learn from their experience. And you have already seen the Cougar by Breeze, and a new addition that I would give its own spotlight right here. But let's begin. I'm going to try to show you how fast you can flip a 3x3 wheel vehicle. Now, one thing to consider is the mass. Any kind of small grid vehicle that you build, it has to be heavy. So my initial design was this Serval LAV, and this thing follows the proportions of a real-life military vehicle, and that ended up being a bad choice at the point in which this is unusable, and I am retiring this entire line. I'm just keeping the blueprints in the workshop for legacy purposes. And you see how fast the wheel is moving, and yet still the vehicle is not, let's say, catching up with it. There you have the bounciness, and this thing has to be aided by gyros. I have 6 gyroscopes just to be able to bring it back. And one of the goals that I've set for myself here is to create a wheeled vehicle, with the help of my friends of course, that can actually function as intended. So, no extra thrusters, no, excessive gyros, something that lives up to the, let's say, the niche that the wheeled vehicle is supposed to fill in this game, which is a cheap alternative to atmospheric craft. Something that you can just strap a battery that is going to last you for years, and that's it. So, as you can see here, I'm fighting with the gyros, just trying to keep it steady, and the thing is just flying off. It's not even worth it. So let's see. Goodbye. Now, the follow-up was the Serval 2, which is the same chassis, if you can tell. And my friend Seth helped me a lot with this one, especially with all the knowledge that he acquired after designing his Fennec large vehicle, which is basically the same configuration of these, but on a large grid scale, which works absolutely well, and you saw in our stream in the race, it performed beautifully. So anyway, as as the previous Serval, this thing is over gyroed. It's just overcompensating. This vehicle performs way better, but still flips a little. Now, that's a characteristic that I was trying to import from the Cougar by Breeze, in which this vehicle rarely flips and has all of the functionalities that you want in a small grid. But I wasn't successful. So this one also flips a little. It's like Seth said, small grids are just atrocious. So let's try do something funny with it. I was on the process of configuring the screens and all that, but then I decided it's just not worth it. That's how over gyro the thing is. Let's remove all the trash. Now, by this time, you are noticing a trend here, and is that these vehicles here, they tend to follow a square design. Basically, the distance between each wheel is the same in every direction. With the exception of the Cougar, which may lead to the fact that you can actually flip it if you really try. And that leads us to the LAV by Niccolò Style. Now, what I really like about the LAV, I mean, is the fact that you can go past 100 kilometers per hour and still remain, in control of the vehicle and do some high-speed passes. Now, that is essential because at over 100 kilometers per hour, you can actually evade incoming rockets, the 200mm rockets in the vanilla game. And as you can see here, I'm trying to flip the vehicle, but the separation between the suspensions, the low center of mass, it's actually making it near impossible to achieve. Now the vehicle does have gyro stabilization, as you can see there. I mean, if you really try, you can get it to bounce, but it's near impossible to actually do a full flip. Now Nicholas expressed that his main source of inspiration was the LAV from Deserts of Karak, which is also the vehicle that I was looking at, the concept that I was trying to pursue, something that you can use in groups. Well, for space engineers that would be 2 or 3, and actually drive around a larger tank or a larger dump truck or whatever and achieve something with it. But for that, the vehicle needs to be stable. And the thing that I find fascinating about this is that the LAV, and it's a test bed that he's been trying out and practicing his suspension configuration, and to this point I can say that it's quite successful. Just look how it lands in all 4 wheels. Now this may seem like like nothing out of the nothing extraordinary, but if you have tried to drive small wheel vehicles, you see what I mean. Especially because this one only has 1 gyroscope. It doesn't need that gigantic gyroscope bank that is going to also make it maybe heavier than what you need, and then you will have to worry about placing gyros closer to the center of gravity. Well, and also one other thing, it has a performance mode and a grip, so with those small iron thrusters, which is not overkill. I mean, it doesn't have the ton of thrusters that all other vehicles need just to keep in place. It's something that is let's say it's enough, and makes it actually usable on moons, which can be quite disastrous for this type of vehicle, make them bounce really badly. Also, I have to say that I am not using the gyroscope here, but I can aid in the turn a little, and that single gyro actually is enough to just make the turn a little bit tighter. So anyway, I really want to see what he can develop, what other variants can he make. I am already working on one, and go check out his vehicle and tell him I sent you.